Hi, guys, I'll answer any questions for you.
Front row left, Mitch.
Urban, what player on the roster would you say is the most improved from summertime until now? Is somebody that jumps out at you?
I'd have to say Ben Victor might be in that category.
Why?
Well, in spring, he didn't have a great spring, and he's playing at a pretty high level. You know, he's still a little bit up and down, but when he goes, it's a really talented guy. I'd probably put a Thayer Munford in that category. And then on defense, you know, most improved players from spring or from the summer till now. Probably Pete Werner would be a guy.
Far left, Lori.
Coach, a couple of the assistants and yourself and players were saying that the week of practices leading up to the Purdue game were really good.
Yeah.
When you have something working in practice and it's not translating into a game, what's generally the cause of that?
Well, we had, you know, you replay that thing over and over again. We got to move on to the next game, but you know, you had penalties extend 3 drives. You know, when they're off the field, we had 3 times we were off the field and could have, like a turnover when you extend you know, whether it be roughing punter, whether it be roughing the quarterback, a hold. But that's a frustrating thing because it's one thing if we're not practicing well, or you do see some new things in the game, but then very uncharacteristic double-digit missed tackles too. So those are the kind of things that we've been working so darn hard at to fix.
How valuable were these past week practices for you personally, being missed some valuable time early in the season?
Oh, very good. You know, I'm still. We're in the grind though. This is all about getting ready for Nebraska and moving forward. And as I've said, enhance your strengths and fix your weaknesses, and we got to do a better job of that.
Front row middle, Dave.
Urban, I've seen some people in the media opine that you could retire after this season. I'm sure if that's not true, you would like to respond to that. Just what is your response when you hear things like that?
I plan on coaching.
You plan on coaching?
Yes.
Can you say for sure you'll be back next year at Ohio
Yes.
State? Yes. And just one more question. Was last week, was it kind of like a mini training camp for you guys? I know you only can get so much done in a week, but how would you describe last week's practices?
Good. It was. We had a team meeting on Tuesday. You know, and the whole clear the air, clear the bad taste from your mouth, and move forward. And that was what was the objective of last week. And then as fast as you can, get involved with a Nebraska team that's sitting stride pretty good players. You know, they're a Barra defense team that we have to really. That's a very unique scheme. And then they got the Q run. You know, we're going into this Q run stuff, the dual threat guy. So it was eliminate. You know, get rid of that. Get rid of the bad taste. Move forward and get going.
Fourth row left, Dan.
Urban, I know you recruited Adrian Martinez a little bit coming out of high school. What are your impressions of what he's been able to do so far at Nebraska?
Yeah, elite guy that, you know, he's that dual guy that can run and pass, and he's doing a very good job. And really, the last 2 games, done a great job.
Overall, that offense, just what are the biggest challenges you see for your defense going into this game?
It's the same, you know, that was the J.T. Barrett era where you have the dual threat responsibility. You know, he does a lot of the, I'm reading a backer, if not throw him the ball, or a Q run. Those are tough things to defend.
Second row right, Rob.
Urban, it doesn't seem like we've talked about leadership as much this year. How is the leadership compared to maybe last year? You lost to Billy Price, a JT. You're a guy that's had Tebow. You've had some great leaders. Do you have the right guys at the right positions? Is that a work in
Sure we do.
progress?
I mean, that's the obligation of the coach, unit leader, to develop that, and it's something we work on very hard around here. And so we're not where we need to be, obviously, but we're working really hard at it.
Also, you weren't around preseason camp, and you've talked about how much you miss that. How does it work the other way? I mean, the team, you like to keep people on edge a little bit, right? Uncomfortable, that's one of the things. You not being there for those 3 weeks, do you think that had an effect on this team maybe losing some edge, and were you able to maybe get it back during the bye week?
We got to move. You know, we're moving. I don't have time to really worry about that. I appreciate the question, but we got Monday practice of a +1 day, so we're moving forward.
Front row left, Bill.
Urban, moving Michael Jordan to center obviously has a ripple effect on the rest of the line as you're moving pieces around. How do you think that's gone for you guys through 8 games?
At times outstanding, at other times it has not been great. But that was kind of a no, Brady Taylor was hurt, and we didn't feel Josh was quite ready, so we had to get our 5 most effective players on the field, and at times he's been great. And he's been playing pretty good, but there is a little bit of a ripple effect, but you got to get your 5 best on the field. When Bowen got hurt, that was an issue, and then obviously Brady Taylor had an injury and then had a scope just recently. So that to get the best 5 on the line and playing, that's what you had to do.
So the decision to play Mike at center was because Brady was hurt? Because you seem very high on Brady coming into the preseason. I didn't know if Brady had gotten beat or if he was hurt, so you had to put Mike at center.
You just get the best 5, and when exactly that happened, and I know injuries are part of it, that was took place during training camp.
And what's Brady's status now, and is Brandon Bowen any closer to possibly playing?
They're both getting very close. They should be practicing today against scouts. Not quite full speed, but getting very close.
So there's no chance either could play this week?
There's a chance. We'll know more today.
Excuse me, front row right, Bill.
From the off week, with all the time that you had finally to work on things, how do you think schematically or in terms of game planning you are going to, this team's going to look different, especially I guess in the run game?
We worked and are continuing working very hard. There's 2 areas, the run game and the red zone, and that was basically the whole devotion of the bye week last week on offense. On defense, it's missed tackles and, getting people on the ground and when they get in space. And so we just worked, that was the whole bye week as far as what we spent time on.
How much better do you feel about the run game now?
I'll know more today and tomorrow. A lot of the coaches were out on the road last week, and so it was kind of a little bit of a scramble, but we'll know more today.
I'm assuming that's been probably the biggest mystery to you, the run game.
The time spent has been phenomenal, and the effort, now it's time to see some rewards.
Front row left, Doug.
When you were looking at that, especially the run game, and what you were watching, was it more, if we fix this little thing and that little thing will be fine? Or were you watching it thinking, man, we've got to completely change how we're attacking this?
It's too late to do that, and schematically, we've adapted some things, but it's a matter of, 2 things in my mind, and that's, first of all, getting the players in the right position. Number 2, being more physical and, breaking tackles, and that's so those 3 things. 1 is getting them in the right position, make sure we have structurally the right play call. Number 2 is get more movement, and number 3 is running through tackles.
And I understand maybe you don't want to go into this, but I think we're asking this on behalf of Ohio State fans who are curious about you. People are trying to watch you on the sideline, how you react to plays. They're trying to be a psychologist and a doctor on their couch at home and trying to decide how Urban Meyer is feeling right now. When you got hired here, we talked a lot about life balance and all that kind of stuff. With everything that's gone on with you this season, where are you mentally, emotionally? Are you enjoying yourself? Where is Urban Meyer as a person coaching this team right now? Because I understand you want to move forward, but this is a big thing for fans, Urban.
I appreciate it, and I'm fine. I want Ohio State to be successful in the worst way, working extremely hard to make sure that's happening. I love Ohio State. I love our players, and so the issue, I don't want people to worry about me. I want to make sure we're getting some things right around here, and that's what's the effort. That's what's 100% of our focus is on.
Okay, because people, during games, are you too... So Kirk Herbstreit said you looked anguished on the sidelines, and that's just the thing. It's not us. People who know you are talking about this. Are the games getting to you?
The games have gotten me for 30 years.
I know. So is that anything different? Is that just how it is?
We're not playing well, and I'm one of those guys. I want to help fix the issue, and like all coaches do. So I'm not sure what anguish means, like pissed or upset. And, you know, when you see some things that we're doing as really uncharacteristic of our teams. So that might be what it looks like, and I'm not sure what that exactly means. And who said that? Kirk, you said?
Front row right, Tim?
Yeah, I'm not following up on that, but Urban, if you could fix, you probably were anguished in the fourth quarter over there at Purdue, but if you could fix something about this run game right now with a magic wand, what would it be? Would it be the play of the guards up front? I mean, a lot of people have focused on
You
that.
can't,
You
and
know what I'm
I don't
saying?
mean to ditch the question, but
Yeah.
I'm going to kind of ditch the question because it's too complicated, and it's, you know, it's a little bit like someone just asked a minute ago, something here, something there, and the ability to pour through and make holes when they're not there, and those are things you watch. You know, you watch a lot of college football on Saturday, and the number one thing is getting guys in space. You know, it's something we've been pretty good at around here, is getting athletes in space, and we haven't been able to do that.
I mean, I would think getting running backs to the second level has been very frustrating, right?
Yeah, that's kind of our trademark. You know, get guys to that second level, let them do their deal, and having a hard time doing that.
Do you think it's because y'all become a little predictable about who is carrying the ball? If you follow my drift there, the quarterback doesn't seem to be a major threat carrying the ball, and it allows the defense, for one of another term, to focus on the running back in that particular situation.
That's been part of it, and that's why sometimes you see, like I mentioned, the one time we had at least 10 where they run calls and we threw it. And that's part of, you know, the double option spread concept. You know, sometimes there's run option, and then there's a run-pass option. And we've been in that kind of mode. So you have to take advantage of your quarterback skill set, and that's what it is.
How much, did you get to look at Nebraska offensively? It sounds like you a little bit, but the J.D. Spillman kid, for example, what just jumps out at you about him?
Oh, just playmaker, speed, and he's having a great year and had a good game against us last year.
Is he close to Rondale Moore, the kid from Purdue? I mean, in the sense of what he can make happen?
I think he's very close. Yeah, very talented guy.
And last couple individuals, front row right, Austin?
Ruben, I think, you know, you're getting a lot of tough questions. You've asked a lot of questions about the players. I think a lot of teams would trade 7-1 going into November with a chance to win a championship. Does it feel as bad in the Woody as maybe some people think? There are problems that have to be fixed.
You know, I think there's urgency. I'm not saying feel is bad, but there's a tremendous amount of urgency, you know, that we understand November. We understand where we're at. We understand what's at stake, and we understand our shortcomings. And so urgency is probably the key word around here. Hard to say I've ever seen a group of staff work as hard as we've worked to try to fix the issues, and same with our players. Like you go out last week's practice, you go out like someone mentioned the Purdue week, they work their tails off. And it's frustrating to not see the rewards, and I'm sure I know it's frustrating for the players as well.
Do you feel better, worse about the chance to compete for a championship in November, you know, to standing here today than you did last Monday?
Get the Monday practice, man. We can't, got to stay away from all that.
And final questions, fourth row left, Steve?
Hey, Coach. You guys in your entire time here have done a really good job. You lose Von Bell, you put Malik Hooker in there. You lose Shazier, you put Raekwon McMillan in there. It just seems like year after year after year, you lose these guys early, particularly on defense, and you've always had the next All-American lined up to do that. Is this, and not to make any kind of excuses, is this season an example of that is a hard thing to sustain over a 5, 6, 7 year period, that you don't have those difference makers yet, but they have the promise to be those type players maybe in the future?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. That's an observation. That's something that happens when you have guys leave early, and to be able to, you know, get that next guy ready to go. But I don't think that's not the glaring issue right now. We certainly have enough talent right now to play better.
Do you foresee changes on defense? Could a Wade get in at safety, or a change at linebacker? Hilliard had
You
to
said
work.
Wade?
Wade possibly.
Possibly.
Or Hilliard.
Hilliard had a chance and played pretty good. So yeah, those are all, you know, absolutely there's a chance.